Got a little chill.
Hey, 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 I don't know what happened there, but you couldn't hear the intro. And so, hey, it's our first time going live. We'll have to work on that intro. I want to welcome everybody back to Gab of Golden Bronze, where we explore the world one city at a time on decadent destinations. And our goal is to help you plan unforgettable trips. Um, I'm your host, Golden Bronze, and we have with us one of our co-hosts, Gigi Spann. Gigi and I today are diving into one of the most iconic cities in the world, New York City. To guide us through the sights, sounds, and experiences of the Big Apple, I'm thrilled to welcome Gigi Spann, a pair and taste travel. She is a seasoned travel agent who has planned countless trips to New York and other known places around the globe. And I want to thank and welcome my sister of Golden Swan Cadre and one of my co-hosts, Gigi Spann, to our first live Gab with Golden Bronze. Yay!
Well, Karen, thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be on the same set with you. I'm excited.
Yay! All right, well, we're switching it up a little bit. We still have our other co-host, Mickey G, and some of those things to still share with everybody. But going forward, we're going to have some rotating co-hosts, you guys, and we're going to do some very interesting things. We're going to change it up a little bit for the rest of 2025 and 2026. So come back and tune in again. Meanwhile, I want to ask Gigi a few questions about New York, and she'll guide us through some of the most iconic places to visit. So, Gigi, can you tell us a little bit about your background first as a travel agent and your experience uh, planning trips to New York?
Well, I started in travel industry in 2016, and I started my own company a year ago called Parent Taste Travel. And during that stint that I was in with my other travel company, I've gone to New York several times and I have booked several trips to New York. And it's really interesting because anytime you try to book a trip for somebody, you always find something new to do. And people look forward to going to New York, to the different cultures, to the different places. It's just countless things to do in New York. It's unbelievable. It's the little America of America. That's the way I look at New York.
That's what they say about New York, anyway, huh? Because there's a mix of cultures and ethnicities and a ton of things to do. So, what makes New York City such a unique and exciting destination for travelers?
Well, the one thing that makes well, first of all, travelers, if they don't want to go anyplace else in the city, New York is probably the third place that people want to go worldwide. And New York has the Easter
Five and a
Parade.
six, but yeah. You hear me,
What happened?
Gigi?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry. Are you frozen?
Keep going. It's
Oh,
live from Costa Rica to Michigan. So keep going. Don't stop. Keep going.
okay, okay. But New York is, as Goldn said, one of the most iconic places to visit in the world. Whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, you can find it in New York. It is multicultural. It is like I said, it's little America to me. So one of the things that I did like about New York, and since I was a little girl, we used to go visit the Statue of Liberty, and of course, that's where all the immigrants would come in from when they came in from different parts of the world. And then we would go. We went a circle. It's called the Circle Line. The Circle Line would take us on the Hudson River to the Statue of Liberty, and then we would see the Empire State Building, which was at that time the tallest building in the world. But since then, and it also has an observation deck. So you can just go to the top of the Empire State Building, which I have done plenty of times, and just view the whole city of New York. Now, since then, they have countless other observation decks and areas in New York, and you have to want to you excuse me, you want to go visit them, and you want to see as much as the city as you can.
Awesome. You know what? Before we go further, I want to say that prior to us going live, Gigi had a lot of technical errors. We finally got her live, and now we're having more technical errors with it blacking out. But I want us to keep going, because if you can't see us, at least you can hear us. And this is our first live in a long time. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing I want to say, Gigi, is you look very rested and beautiful today.
Well, thank you. And I take right after you. You're my inspiration.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, I hope to get rested up, but you look like where you're at is doing you good.
It is. It is.
Good,
You know,
good,
I
good.
love it out here. It's country. I can have coffee with the deer, but right now you need a coat on to go outside. It is cold out there.
What is the temperature before we just do a little small talk here? What's the temperature?
It's about 47 degrees.
Okay, that's not too bad. Where I'm at is between 70 and 80 and overcast. It's like Seattle, misty, raining intermittently, cool but not cold, you know. But what I've been told, that's because of the hurricane coming in through Jamaica. So
Yes.
it's interesting. So let's
And then,
move on. If someone has never been to New York before, what's the first thing you would tell them to expect?
well, expect to see a lot of people, because when you go to cross the street in New York, especially in the Fifth Avenue and the 34th Street area, you go to cross the street, you don't have to walk. The people walk so fast, they carry you across the street. So you just have to be really careful when you go to New York and start crossing the street, because you'll look around. Next thing you know, it's like they're pushing you out the way. Get moving, kid. We got places to go. But
Just like you see on TV, huh?
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a place that I love to go to. It's a place I love to be. They have some of the best restaurants. It's multicultural.
Hold your thought. Hold your thought. Hold your thought. You're getting ahead of me. So the best thing to expect is a lot of people. Now, my next question is, what are the 5 attractions? That's what you were about to get into, that you recommend for first-time visitors. Now you can finish, because I know that's where you're headed before I ask the question.
Well, I'm sorry, it just excites me a little bit.
Yes.
The 5 attractions, you want to get into Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the center of everything. In fact, that's where New Year's Eve is held, in Times Square. You want to go to the Empire State Building. We just mentioned a little bit about that before. You want to take a circle line and just go around Manhattan and view the different buildings and the different parks and the different areas that you have in New York. And let me see, I have one more. Central Park. I cannot forget Central Park. Central Park is the greatest park in the world. One Christmas, I was at Central Park, and it was just before Christmas. It was right after the Thanksgiving holiday, and they had what do you call it? A market set up where you can just tables all over the place and all kinds of places, things to purchase for Christmas, for a birthday, for holiday, whenever you want it. But it's just an amazing place to go. And the other thing that you'd want to do is go to St. Patrick's Cathedral. There are times when I was working in New York, I just had to walk in there and just pray, because I wanted to make sure my day continued to go well. But it's a beautiful cathedral, and it's very well known in New York, and it's something that you don't want to miss.
Okay, so Central Park, St. Patrick Cathedral, the Circle, I guess, is walking around Manhattan, Times Square, and the Statue of Liberty, I think is what you said, right?
Yes, and the Circle Line, I'm sorry, I thought I should have explained that to you.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows about the Circle Line. The Circle Line is a boat that that people can get on and sightsee New York.
Not
from
everybody knows about the Circle Line.
the Hudson River.
So beyond Times Square, Central Park, Circle Line, Manhattan, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and I think I got all that. What are some places that people often miss that are hidden gems that they don't know about? Like you just said, most people know about what you just said. But what are those hidden gems that people don't really know about?
Well, one of the hidden gems that people don't know about, and or either they don't hear about it when you're talking about some of the sights to see in New York, is Harlem. Harlem is one of my favorite places to go, and it's very eclectic. There's a lot of different foods in Harlem, a lot of different restaurants. Soul food is a big thing in Harlem. Music, jazz. You have all your iconic stars, entertainers in Harlem. So if you are going to go to New York, I would suggest to make sure you go to Harlem and see what Harlem has to offer as far as culture, as far as art, as far as music. It is a very as I said, eclectic place to go.
So, what is that soul food restaurant in Harlem that everybody talks about? The one that Bill Clinton just loved to go to?
You talking about Sylvia's?
That's it.
Yeah, Sylvia's. In fact, I was at Sylvia's last year. I went to a jazz concert there.
I
And
remember that's, I didn't want to say the name. I wanted you to say the name. So
yeah,
yeah,
Sylvia's.
Sylvia's.
Yeah.
I'll have to go to New York, although I heard that it's changed, but I still want to have the experience. So, so Gigi, are there
Yeah.
any must visit museums, galleries, or cultural spots you always include in your New York itinerary for people that are first time visitors?
The Metropolitan Museum of Art. You have the Guggenheim Museum, and that it building itself is very architectural. It's in a spiral. And the cloisters, which is where the monks and the more monastery type setting, and a lot of historical features there that you would just take in. And then there's gardens there around the museum. Um, Let me see. I said the History, Metropolitan Museum of Art. Oh, there's another one there. It escapes me right now, but I'll come back to it.
Okay,
Oh, the
go ahead.
the Children's Museum and the Bronx Zoo.
Okay.
Not a
So I'm a
museum.
museum person.
Yeah.
I love to go to museums and art, excuse me, art galleries. So, Gigi, for someone who wants an iconic New York experience, besides the ones that you've mentioned, you've mentioned the landmarks and you've mentioned Harlem, but what other neighborhoods are essential, or absolutely you would say essential for people to see and experience? Like we talked about Harlem.
I would say Brooklyn. Brooklyn
Mhm.
is um, it's very cultural. They have art museums. They have a children's museum, and it's more residential than Manhattan. So a lot of people that live in Brooklyn, they do a lot of visiting and sightseeing, and they do a lot of cultural things and in Manhattan. Not that Brooklyn doesn't have it, but everybody wants to go to Manhattan. Manhattan just
It's
draws everybody to that area.
so Brooklyn or Manhattan, which is the most influential of the two?
I would say Manhattan. Manhattan just has everything that you
Okay.
want. It's what I call Little America. But Manhattan is one of the five boroughs. New York has five boroughs, and then each borough has its own personality. So Brooklyn is one of the boroughs, and it's a residential brownstones. They have some restaurants, and they have their little cultural areas that people like to visit. They have little street uh, sidewalk sales. They have different things. It's very residential, very cultural in Brooklyn.
So, for those that don't know the term borough, is that like sections, 5 sections to it?
Borough is a smaller than a city, I believe. You have your city, you have
Okay.
your borough, you have your town. So
Okay.
yeah, so you have the five boroughs, which is New York, Staten Island, Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx. But
And the rest is
Manhattan,
like country.
yeah, the Manhattan is just the center of everything. And those other
Mhm.
boroughs, they have certain things to offer. Well, I'll tell you one thing. In the Bronx, that's where hip hop started. And it started with a young group of people. And they have a great museum it's called the Hip Hop Museum. It's a great museum in the Bronx. And I think everybody should go and see it just to find out the history and get an idea of where hip hop started and where it's going.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Is it that like the salt and pepper days and the cool modi and all of them?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, Gigi, are there
Yes.
seasonal events or festivals that make New York extra special at certain times of the year?
Absolutely. You have the famous Thanksgiving Day parade. And that's, I believe it's 101
Hmm.
years old. They've been doing that for over 100 years. And I have gone to the Thanksgiving Day parade. In fact, I was on TV with Al Roker years ago.
Oh,
Not with Al Roker. The camera went right past me.
oh,
So if you didn't know
oh!
me,
I
you
thought
wouldn't
you
know
went
it was
actually
me.
winning, girl. I thought you was actually with Al Roper doing
No, I
something
had to
on TV.
clarify that in case anybody saw this.
I know that's right. That be that girl lied on the
Uh-huh,
YouTube.
uh-huh.
That's funny. Because we know how people are, don't we?
Yes, we do. I got to fix it up now.
You sure did. You already up and corrected that. Let me ask you, New York is famous for its food scene. What dishes or restaurants besides Sylvia's? Let's say, name some restaurants, but what dishes are iconic for New York? You know how like
Mm.
Louisiana is good for jambalaya and gumbo, and it has its own thing.
Well, you know what, Karen? I really did not explore that specifically, but New York is
But you're
good
from
for,
there, so
huh? No, it says
it's
specifically, but
home. So
I didn't hear you. But New York is
it's
good
your
for
home. So just
it's my home. So like there's a one thing that I love in New York, and I've been eating it since I was about 15 or 16 years old. And I turned it on to a lot of my friends because New York was just somewhere I went. Um,
Mhm.
there's two things I went to New York for. I would go just across the bridge to eat a hot dog. I know
Wow,
that,
and
yeah, just I
I
would
hate
just
hot
go.
dogs.
It just seems like they were the best hot dogs. And it was some bread hot dogs. And I would get one hot dog with mustard and relish and one hot dog with sauerkraut and onions. And I would have two hot dogs and I was done. That was good. But the one thing that I really loved to eat in New York were falafels. And it's a
Tell us what that is.
vegetarian, I'm sorry, it's a vegetarian dish and it's made with it's a wrap. And it has
Mhm.
uh, it's made out of chickpeas, and they're fried chickpeas, and they put in like a meatball, and then it's lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and cucumbers, and they put a cucumber sauce on it, and it's delicious. So that's one of my favorite things to eat in New York. A lot of times in New York, especially with visitors coming in, it's expensive to eat in restaurants. So they have little stands that you can go to truck stops and different stands in New York that you can go to, and you can try different foods in New York from different cultures. You can have the falafels, you can have a meatball sandwich, you can have something from oh, I can't think of the name of it right now. Uh, it's knishes. So there's so many different things that you can eat just in one area in New York. You have your a whole culture of foods in just in like a 5 block area.
So I'll have to try the falafel because I've been like a vegetarian for a minute. The other day, somebody told me I was getting too thin again, so I guess I got to start back eating some more protein of some kind. And I was doing the shrimp and all that, but it's not good for the cholesterol, the crab, the shrimp, the lobster. So I had to stop eating that. But the falafel sounds good. Now tell me what the kanishi is.
Is a knish is like a potato. Um, it's almost like a fried potato. It's like mashed potatoes and it's fried. That's the
Okay.
best way I can describe it to you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my mother and grandmother used to cook potato patties. That's what it sounds like.
Well, basically, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's usually square, and they call it
Oh,
potato knish. Now, if somebody's listening, they may just go a little further with, wait a minute, I know what those knishes are, but that's my description of a knish.
okay. Um, so I don't know if you can elaborate on how travelers experience authentic local neighborhoods beyond tourist hotspots. Like we mentioned, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Harlem. Do they have like some cities, like even here, I am going to do a city tour. So do
Hmm.
they have things like that? And in
Yeah,
London, you can take a bus and do a city tour.
they sure do. Every borough has a city tour in New York because every borough has something to offer as far as culture. Um, Very cultural, very multi cultural areas in New York. Um, Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and they have restaurants. It's like Restaurant Row over there. And then they have a lot of cultural museums. They have churches, synagogues, mosques, and
So
you can take these double
is
decker
this
buses.
that's what I was
And
about to ask you. Is
yeah,
there a way that you could, if someone were to reach out to Parentage Travel and want to do a city tour, is that something you could offer them?
oh, absolutely. Oh, yes,
Okay.
I can let them know, where they could go, how much it would cost. And some places they'll just take you for free just because that's what they do. They're very congenial people over in New York, despite what you hear on the
I was
news.
going to say that's not what you hear.
Yeah, despite what you hear on the news,
Yeah.
you, you're gonna have something in every place you go. But I'm just very comfortable in New York. I I went to go see the Commodores one night and lost the crowd of people that I was with, and I had to go home by myself. And I lived in New Jersey, so I took the subway and went in the wrong direction. I was
I
an
bet
hour
that was
away
an
from my
experience.
house.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning, but
Oh,
nobody
my
bothered
goodness.
me. Nobody
And I
bothered me.
probably would have panicked.
I got up there, and then the guy says to me, "Well, you're going in the wrong direction." I said, "I am." So I had to go upstairs, come back down to the other side of the train, and then head back west so I can get to New Jersey. And then my
That
mom
would be
picked me up
me.
at four
Only I
o'clock in the
probably would have panicked, but the reason I guess you didn't panic is because you were raised up in the New Jersey, New York area.
right.
So if you had gotten too lost, you probably could have got on the phone and called somebody. Right.
That's correct, but you cannot get lost on the subways because when I say you can't get lost, you can get lost. I misdirected myself, but everything is right there in front of you. It tells you what street you're going on and it tells you what stops you're going to make. So it's not hard to get it's not hard to get it's easy. Let me see. You can get lost in New York,
Yeah,
but
you said you got
still
lost.
easy. It's still easy. It's easy to get around in New York because
You can get lost, but you can find your way back. It's
you
easy
can
to find your way
right.
back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, for people that like the nightlife, are there any fun and unique nightlife experiences that shouldn't be missed? I mean, like you would recommend people try experiencing one time?
Oh, the nightlife. I don't. Nightlife. There's a
Like
lot
is
of
New York known for, you know how it used to be known or may still be, I don't know, Showtime at the Apollo. Are there other things that you would recommend that if they could, they would should try to go to at least one time?
Well, they have a lot of jazz spots in New York. They have a lot of high-end restaurants in New York that offer entertainment. Um, but the one thing that I think that you should try at least one time in New York is the helicopter ride.
Ooh, I don't know. Too many tall buildings, honey. Got to make sure that pilot don't misdirect his height.
Yeah, it's a helicopter. It's a helicopter ride. Takes you around New York, and then of course, it lands you. But it's just very thrilling and exhilarating for people to just look down and see the Hudson River and see the West Side Highway and see the different things from an aerial view when you're up in a helicopter. Now, I've
Oh,
never done it, but
I
I've
was like,
only
I'd
listened to
be
what
too
people have
busy.
told me.
I would be too busy making sure he wasn't too close to this building or too low or whatever. I probably would not enjoy myself in New York on a helicopter ride.
But
But for those
that's
thrill
really
seekers, I do
that's
recommend
what
it.
feels. Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, are there, besides Central Park, historic walking tours that people can take, like when they go to New York? Because where I'm visiting, I've done one of those too.
Yes, New York does have historic walking tours. In fact, all five boroughs have historic walking tours, and I find that a lot of people will take those walking tours with their children because they want their children to see and understand what's going on in the city. They have different petting zoos along the way, and some of them they have your ice cream stands. They have things that children would just gravitate to. They have large parks. They have different playgrounds in the park where kids can go to and have fun while adults can sit and watch or even engage with the children. I mean, it's just it's the place to me. It's the place to be. I don't think there's any other place to be other than New York. You can do everything in New York that you can do anywhere else in a
And
smaller area.
so my next question was about kids. So you kind of said that they can do walking tours with the kids in the parks and things like that. And some of these might be redundant questions, but you may be able to elaborate. Like you said earlier, you'll get back to the other question that I asked you if you haven't already forgotten what that was.
You know
Remember
me.
earlier. But do you remember that one if you want to elaborate on it now?
What was it?
You did forget?
Yes, what was it that I was supposed to
Okay,
elaborate
well,
on?
let's move on.
Okay.
Okay. What are some of the exciting once in a lifetime experiences visitors can do in New York? And that might be redundant. And that was part of one of the questions that you said, I'll get back to it because you forgot the place. You couldn't remember the place, the other iconic place.
Oh,
That
okay. I have it written down. I can't see it from here. Um, the some of the
it
other
is
I
okay. It is okay to bring it where you can see it. The thing about being live is you're being authentic. So if you need to put the paper in front of you, do so.
okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Um, you wanna you wanna go to the aquarium, which is in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, they have a life-size whale in the aquarium, but it's not a real whale. Of course, it's a replica. And it's like about, I have it written down here. It's it's about 90 and it's 21,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Well,
kids, it's a whale. It's a replica of a whale, and kids are
oh,
fascinated by it.
yeah,
Um, and then I think I talked about the Central Park Zoo a little bit. Did I talk about the Central Park Zoo?
you did.
They have a little zoo in Central Park where kids can go, and then they have an Air and Sea Space Museum that
Okay.
is good for kids and adults. Um, it's a it's a learning experience. It's a hands-on educational place to go to, as well as the fun and the elaborate New York that we all know about and we all love. And you have 12 acres of a science area where kids can just go and run and be free and do experiments and everything from maybe age 2 to 12 years old. So there's something in New York for everybody.
Now, Gigi, we're going to take
Yeah.
a quick break just so I can say to you that if you ever watch other TV talk shows, you will see Mark and Kelly with their notes, reading them. You'll
Hmm.
see um, Sherry Shepherd with her note cards. So feel free to read your notes. You'll see The View. The ladies on The View look down and read their questions. Because when you do this often and we cover a lot of material, you have to refer to it. Everybody can't keep it all to memory. And I know this is our first live, everybody, for a couple of years. And she's and I are both a little nervous. But the
I'm a lot
one thing
nervous.
that we wanted to do was be authentically ourselves. I don't know if you guys you will you will make some natural hiccups, but
Hmm.
that's part of being authentic. And I just wanted to put you at ease because you were trying to memorize everything, but it's
Hmm.
okay for you to uh, put your notes in front of you. So
Thank you.
for
I
adventure lovers, you're welcome. For adventure lovers, are there any activities besides the helicopter ride that would get their adrenaline pumping? Like if they're more active and adventurous?
Um, I don't know. I was more focusing on more cultural things and not too much adventurous, even though that was in my notes to do.
Like
Um,
I know they have the helicopter rides, but Lake Hudson, do they do anything for um, tourists in Lake Hudson? Do they have boat rides?
oh
Do
yeah,
they have something that'll take them to the Statue of Liberty? Can they tour the Statue of Liberty? Things like that.
yeah, they do have boat rides. In fact, Central Park has boat rides, so you can take boat rides from Central
Okay.
Park. You can take your kids on little boat rides in Central Park, the little paddle boats. You can go to the Statue of Liberty. I'm not sure if you can go up in the Statue of Liberty. I know at one time you couldn't, and they were doing some repairs. So people used to go in the Statue of Liberty. It had thousands of stairs to go up, and then some people will go up in the arms and the torch. So I'm not sure if that's still available for people to go to. Um, Also, on Statue of Liberty is Ellis Island. They have a roster of people that came in. So it's a lot of people go there to look at their names to see if they had their ancestors come in to Ellis Island. Uh, Mainly Italians and
Wow. That would be
Germans
something
and
nice to,
Greeks. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so how can visitors balance all this sightseeing with a little downtime or relaxation? Are there things like you recommend the jazz sets? Are there any other things this maybe that they could do?
Well, yeah, as I was reading, I came across something that's called one big thing rule. And a lot of people, when they want to come to New York, they want to go here, they want to go there, they want to do this, and they want to do that. So this is telling you, stay in one area at a time. Do everything in uptown New York in that one area, and then take a break and go to the park, go to the library, go over to the colleges, and just peruse through the area. Um,
That makes
and
a lot of sense.
yeah, and then the next day, do all the things that you want to do in Midtown New York. In Midtown New York is that's
Mhm.
when you have most of your sightseeing. The uh, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I have to blame it on my age. Um, the
Nah,
Empire.
don't age.
I'm blaming it on age. I can't. The I just Empire State Building. The Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building. A lot of people are fascinated with the building and the architecture in New York City. And then you would go uptown in New York, and that would be maybe your Spanish Harlem, or that would be your Little Italy. That would be more cultural uptown, closer to the George Washington Bridge. But you have you can have a park day, you can have a museum day, you can go to the memorial of the 9/11. They have a 9/11 memorial, and it's by the
Mhm.
Brooklyn Bridge. So there's so many things that you can do where you can have a relaxing day, and then you have some things that you can do that you can have such a fun day. But it's all taken in, and
Yeah.
it's all being absorbed and being enjoyed. It's a way that you can enjoy yourself,
Okay.
and you're not rushed,
And
and you
relax at the same
can
time. Okay.
yeah.
Well, are there unique transportation experiences like the Staten Island ferry? You did mention the helicopter tours. You mentioned walking, but not necessarily walking bridges, but uh, that give a different perspective of the city. Tell us
Um,
about the walking bridges. We haven't talked about them.
walking across the bridge.
It says walking bridges. So,
I have
okay.
not
What
come across.
bridges are there in New York that people can walk across?
Oh yeah, well, I now the bridges, you can walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. Um,
Okay.
and it's a very famous bridge, and up underneath the bridge they have a uh, almost like a shopping center where they have restaurants, and they have different activities that you can engage in, and then they have food uh,
What bridge is that, Gigi?
that's the Brooklyn Bridge. I
Okay.
have it
Wow, I didn't know that. They have restaurants on the Brooklyn Bridge
underneath
underneath it.
underneath
That would
underneath
be
the Brooklyn
scary.
Bridge.
Right above the water?
um it's well it's it's not exactly on the water, but it's underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, and they have a place called they call it Dumbo, and it's a if I can remember what Dumbo means, and it
That's
talks
okay.
about
We don't need to know that. They can look that up. But so let me get clarification. I'm trying to picture this. There's the bridge, and here's a bridge. Look at my
right.
hand. And
Hmm.
underneath it is restaurant, and then the water's down here. So the restaurants are between the water and the bridge.
No, this is the bridge, and then the water is out here. So the
No,
bridge,
bridges go over water
this part of the bridge is on dry land.
where the restaurants are.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was trying to picture.
yeah, that part of the bridge is on dry land, and then they have
Okay,
restaurants and different places that you can go visit underneath the bridge.
okay, that
Yeah,
clarifies.
you're not that
In
close to.
my
It's
mind,
not that. Yeah, you're not that close to the water.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. But when you first said under the bridge, I'm thinking, oh my God, I would not want to go to a restaurant between the bridge and the water. No,
In the
thank you.
water. No, no, no. I'm glad you clarified that. Or
Yeah.
help me out with that one.
So, how do you recommend travelers plan their trip to make the most of their time? And I think you already did. And so, let me just say that might be a redundant question, but you did say by boroughs, I guess. Go to Manhattan first, then Brooklyn, then wherever,
Yeah,
right?
every borough has something unique to offer travelers.
Mhm. So we talked about all the great things to eat, do, and see. What are some of the common mistakes tourists make in New York? How can they avoid?
One of the
Did you
mistakes
hear
that
me?
they make, you said common mistakes tourists make?
Yep.
Okay. One of the common mistakes
Yes.
that they make, and I elaborated on it before, is that they come to New York and they want to try to push everything in one day. And they find themselves going someplace uptown, then running downtown to do someplace else, and then midtown, or maybe they got tickets for a play or a show, and they're trying to do everything before they got to that play or show. And what you need to do is pace yourself and put wherever you're going to be that day, put everything together in that day, and then rest that evening so you can get ready the next day and get up and start your day the next day, and just try to have everything organized where you're not running all over the place, because you can do that in New York and you'll be taking subways from uptown to downtown to east side to the west side. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to tire yourself out. You want to come to New York, you want to enjoy what New York has to offer, and you want to leave there with a good feeling and being relaxed and with an idea that I want to come back to this place again because there's
That
so
sounds
much to
great. Yep. Sounds like a winner. So, are there budget friendly tips for seeing and experiencing the city without overspending?
do. Yes, and in in New York, you can stay at hostels, and that's really good for families. And that will be almost like a dormitory type setting, as opposed to a hotel. And you can eat at food stands instead of going to a restaurant where you have to sit down and you have to get waited on and you have to tip the waiter. And you want to do fun things in New York. I would recommend to go at least one restaurant while you're there, just to get the feeling of what it's like. Tavern on the Green is one of my favorite restaurants. So if you could go to that Tavern on the Green, and you'll get top-notch service on Tavern on the Green, and be done with it. And just say, gee, I went to that one restaurant. I'm good. Now let me go and get me a hot dog.
Okay, so let's elaborate on hostels because I did not know the United States of America had hostels. I knew that was common abroad. And I can't imagine a family staying in a hostel the way that I vision it, like a dormitory. So are you in this hostel just with your family? This one room, just you and your family?
It's just you and your family in that room. Now, you know what? I might have to get some clarification on that too. But it said that you can take your family and you can go stay in a hostel as opposed to staying in a hotel. And the hostel was set up like a dormitory, and that's the way it was explained to me. Now, if there's
I didn't know
anything
they had them
different,
in America, though. I knew they had them abroad, but I didn't know that they had them in America.
they have them abroad and they have them on some islands as well.
And they have
Because
them in New York.
they have them in New York.
Wow, I did not know that.
I did not
Well,
either.
I imagine if you're not planning to be in your room and you're planning to be out and about, that would work because you're not usually when you're in your room, you want some comfort.
Right.
And in a hostel, it's just a bed and a couple of beds and a bathroom. It's very simplistic. So I imagine if your intent is to not be in your room relaxing, a hostel might work for some.
And when I was
Well,
looking at budget friendly places,
Mhm.
a hostel is recommended for people who have a family that's coming to visit New York, and they're on a bit of a budget.
You know what you should do as a travel agent, just out of curiosity? Go visit one of those hostels and see what it looks like. I mean, as a realtor, I often would go into neighborhoods just out of curiosity in case I ever had a client that wanted to
Hmm.
live a certain place.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
have some knowledge about that place that they were interested in
That's a great
or not
idea.
recommended based on their interests. Because some things people may ask for, and I would not recommend it because I've already ahead
Oh,
of them visited the place
mhm.
and know their style and kind of what they're looking for. So next time someone asks you a question like I just did, it would, you might say, well, maybe that's not for you, or maybe you would recommend it for someone that you know is just going to be out and about all the time in the city and just wants somewhere to lay their head down at night to sleep, you know?
Yes,
Just
and
a thought.
as I said that, as I was reading, it said they recommended it for a family because when you have a
Yeah.
family, you got to spend money on food and different things. So they
Yeah.
recommended it for a family,
Yeah.
so they would have less expensive living expenses to worry about.
Yeah, they're very basic. They're like dorm rooms, tiny, teeny, tiny beds and a bathroom, and that's it. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
said I was surprised they had them in New York, because New York is one of the most expensive places to live and to visit. And I imagine a hostel might cost as much as a room in some other cities just because it's in New York. But what are your favorite personal experiences or memories from New York that you would love to share with travelers?
Let's see. Um, Well, I loved, and I still do when I'm in the area. I love going to Harlem because I love going to the jazz sets, and I love eating the soul food that they have down there. Um, now I have never done this before, but it's on my bucket list to be in New York on New Year's Eve.
You know
And
what? I used to want to do that, but I'm so paranoid about the state of everybody and everything now that big crowds like that make me nervous.
well, see, I don't plan on being in a crowd. I plan on being in a hotel room that costs about $2,000 a night.
Ooh,
just,
well, take
just
me
for
with
New
you.
just for New
Let me
Year's.
be your tag along.
No, just for New Year's Eve. And now the two
You hear what I
thousand
said?
dollar you said do what? You said take
Let
me
me be
along
your
and do the
tag
what?
along.
You be my
Let
tag
me be
along?
your tag. Yeah, because I ain't paying 2,000 a night, but I'll tag along with you.
Well, anyway, you don't get to see the ball drop with the $2,000 room. But when you got the $5,000 or $10,000 room, then you get to see the ball drop.
Okay, in my dreams, I guess. All right.
But
Well, I didn't know that was an option. 2,000 to 10,000. Okay.
2000, and people pay that, and they're booked 6 months in advance. So you have to
I would
have
try
money
that.
to do that.
Yeah. Well, if someone only had one day to go to New York, what would be their perfect itinerary? What would you recommend? One day. What all can they do that would be an experience that they would remember?
Well, I would first recommend them to go to the top of the Empire State Building and just get an aerial view of the city and experience a high-end restaurant. They have a lot of Michelin restaurants in New York. Experience that where you have white glove service. I would recommend them to go to Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have horse and buggy rides in Central Park as well. And City College is a very it's an old college, but it's got a lot of character and has a lot to offer. And they have, I think, one of the best libraries that I've ever been in. So if you're studious, that's some place to go to is City College Library. And
Okay.
I think that people would enjoy that. And of
Well,
course, you got to ride the subway. You got at least once.
I think I would have to ride the subway with somebody that knew how to ride the subway, but I will keep that in mind if I ever come to New York. So, why? We're about to wrap it up here very shortly. And before we do, I want to ask you, why do you think New York continues to be one of the most popular travel destinations in the world?
Because it has a lot to offer. It's very multicultural. Um, they have places called Little India, Little Italy, and everybody has their own little cultural group there that they mingle with. Um, it's just it's like little, like I said, it's like little America. They call it the Big Apple. They call it, it's no other place in the world like it. And that's my opinion. You can you can walk down the street in a hot dog, and the next minute you're eating at a high end restaurant. So there's so much. It has so much to offer educationally. It has so much to offer entertainment wise. It has so much to offer in fashion. Um, it's just an amazing place to be.
All right, all right. Well, everyone, Gigi is from the East Coast, New Jersey, who spends a lot of time in New York. Being a travel agent and as experienced as she is, I thought she would be the perfect person to tour us in New York. The bright light came on, excuse me, um, to tour us of New York. And Gigi is my travel agent for my decadent destinations. I am currently at one of the places that I asked her to tour us virtually. Then I decided to come and check it out myself. I won't tell you where it is, I already did, but I'm not going to repeat that. But she is the best person that I know that could take you virtually on a tour and make you want to physically go there. So I would ask Gigi before we end the show to tell everyone how they can reach you, the name of your company, your contact information, your website, and how they can book a tour with you, a trip with you, and tours.
Well, thank you, Karen. The company is Pear and Taste
Golden,
Travel.
it's golden, it's golden bronze. Okay.
I am so we're gonna have to bleep that out.
No, this is live, live. We're
Oh my
live.
goodness, it's live. Oh gosh, I forget about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
get my
Golden.
name right. Okay, get my name right.
Okay, Golden. Um, yes, Pear and Taste Travel. And I can be reached at 469-422-7023. And my website is PANDTTRAVEL.com. Did I say
And
that
so now
right?
that you have spelled it out, go ahead and tell them that is Pair and Taste Travel. That is,
Mhm.
well, she spelled it out, but the name of her company is Pair and Taste Travel. And just take a few minutes to tell them how you came up with that name.
Well, we didn't talk about it, and in my New York presentation here, but I like wine, and I like pairing wine and foods together. And oh, by the way, New York does have a few wineries. So if you're interested in visiting wineries in New York, let me know and I can get you there. And that's how I came up with pair and taste. So you pair your wines with your food and you get a good taste of both.
All right, everyone. Sit tight, Gigi, but I want to thank everybody for joining Gab with Golden Bronze today and come back next Tuesday to see what we have interesting. Every now and then we'll go live. Most of the shows are a different format. And going forward, we'll have more lives, and some with just myself and some with rotating co-hosts. So come back and see what we have planned for you. We're going to have um, interviews with authors, children, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, all kind of interesting things. So just stick around. 2026 and the rest of 2025, we're going to serve you right. All right. Thank you for joining us. And hold on 1 minute.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming.